Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. Monday Night Raw tonight was from the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, and the show just ended. And Monday Night Raw tonight, I thought it was just an okay show, in my opinion. This was the go-home show for Saturday night's main event, which is this Saturday. And like I said, the show was okay tonight. It wasn't as good as last week's show or even the first show, for Monday Night Raw on Netflix. But it was an okay show. But tonight, we saw Rey Mysterio in action, and he had taken on Kofi Kingston. Yes, the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods end up appearing tonight in Dallas. We had Nia Jax in action, and she had taken on Bayley, to which Bayley is now part of the Monday Night Raw roster. Of course, she was a SmackDown superstar, but of course, with the transfer window, she has moved over to Monday Night Raw and is now a part of the roster. And this was confirmed earlier today. And we had Penta in action. Penta, his second week on Monday Night Raw, and he had taken on Pete Dunne. We had Damage Control. We had Io Sky and Dakota Kai. They have taken on Pure Fusion Collective, Pure Shit Collective in Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. And the main event, we had Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. This was their rematch from last year's WrestleMania. We also had JBL, WWE Hall of Famer JBL, making a appearance tonight on Monday Night Raw, which was cool. It was good to see JBL there. He ended up doing commentary for Rey Mysterio versus Kofi Kingston, and we heard "Mago" again. But overall, Monday Night Raw, okay show it was tonight. Not as good as last week's or, the first week, Monday Night Raw went to Netflix. But before I get into the review, if you want to tune in tomorrow night, I will be on my buddy Luke Ponto's channel for episode 5 of our show, The Movie Fanatics. It's going to be live at 8 o'clock Eastern tomorrow, right on, like I said, my buddy Luke Ponto's channel. Got a lot of topics that we are going to discuss. And also, on Wednesday, me and Noah are back for episode 2 of the Bell Call podcast, where we're going to be giving our predictions for Saturday night's main event. We're going to talk about the WWE TNA partnership. We're also going to be talking about Britt Baker, because news broke out today that Tony Khan has been fed up with Britt Baker. So we're going to discuss that. We're going to talk about, of course, Raw and SmackDown. So we're going to make the second episode a little bit shorter than our first episode, but tune in for that. It's going to be on my channel here on Wednesday. We're gonna go live at 7 o'clock before AEW Dynamite. So be on the lookout for that. So stay tuned for all those coming up. Of course, tomorrow, Movie Fanatics episode 5 with my buddy Luke Ponto on his channel. And episode 2 of the Bell Call podcast with me and Noah on Wednesday. So be on the lookout for those. But anyway, let's jump right into the review. Monday Night Raw opened up, and before we got to the first segment, we saw Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley was shown arriving into the arena earlier in the day, and she ended up getting attacked by Nia Jax. Nia Jax ended up slamming Rhea into the wall a few times. She then avalanched Rhea Ripley into the wall. Adam Pearce and officials, of course, came over there, broke things up between Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley. So we ended up seeing that. And then we went to the first segment of the night, where we saw Jey Uso. Jey Uso made his way through the crowd. Of course, he had Michael Cole cringe doing yeet, where he's like, and he's hopping up and down. I'm like, it's so cringe when Michael Cole, is doing yeet. We've seen that before. Please, Michael Cole, don't do that anymore. I know he's trying to have fun, but on TV it comes off very cringe. And he was there, of course. Wade Barrett was on commentary with Michael Cole because Pat McAfee was, doing, announcing for college football. So it was Michael Cole and Wade Barrett tonight. So Jey Uso, he ended up coming down. He ended up shaking hands with Michael Cole, of course. We had Jey Uso end up getting into the ring. Of course, Jey Uso is set to face Gunther this Saturday at Saturday night's main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. So Jey got on the mic. He ended up saying, main event Jey Uso is now in your city. He ended up saying this weekend at Saturday night's main event, he's taking home the big one. Meaning he's going to take the World Heavyweight Championship from Gunther, which I don't see that happening. So Gunther ended up coming out. The ring general made his way to the ring. Gunther got into the ring, and Gunther got on the mic. He ended up saying that he wants to guess that's the next thing Jey will say, is that he will win the World Heavyweight Championship. Jey ended up saying that he was going to say he was going to beat Gunther and take the World Heavyweight Championship and hang it up in his room. So Gunther was like to Jey, oh, you're a really funny little man. Gunther ended up saying that he was looking forward to facing Jey on Saturday night's main event after he refocused himself. Until today, when he saw Jey walking in acting like a complete dork. So he ended up saying that Jey was acting like a company mascot for the crowd. He ended up saying at this point, it doesn't matter to him. Gunther ended up saying that he could just as well be challenged by Jimmy. So Jimmy ended up warning Gunther not to say anything about his brother. To which Gunther ended up saying that it doesn't matter what Jey says, because he never follows up with his words. And he ended up saying that the people are naive enough to believe every word he says. But he isn't. Gunther isn't. So he ended up saying that Jey shows up whenever someone whistles, like his brother or cousin and Cody Rhodes. Gunther ended up saying that all that means is Jey is a useful idiot. So he ended up saying that Jey's words and actions do not align. And Gunther ended up saying that his words and actions do align. Gunther then held up the World Heavyweight Championship. He ended up saying that on Saturday, when the bell rings, I am going to expose you for the flash in the pan who has no business being this close to the World Heavyweight Championship. So we had Jey end up saying that Gunther is right again. Jey ended up saying that everything that came out of Gunther's mouth is true. Jey ended up saying that he is a mascot and that the crowd is his team. Jey ended up saying that the crowd is his squad because they ride with him, slide with him, and on Saturday, they'll be with him when he beats Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, to which the crowd ended up going, yeet! Jey ended up saying that he also told Gunther that he respected him, but Gunther will respect him as well. Jey ended up saying that only one of them is standing in the ring that main evented WrestleMania, and that it wasn't Gunther. So that pissed off Gunther. Gunther then ended up punching Jay down and started stomping away at him. Gunther ended up pulling Jay to his feet and he ended up decking Jay with a forearm. Jay quickly took Gunther down and started punching away at him. Gunther ended up trying to grab Jay, but Jay started punching away at Gunther. Jay ended up knocking Gunther out of the ring with a super kick. Jay then picked up the World Heavyweight Championship and held it up. Gunther was shown pulling off his jacket. He was furious at Jay knocking him out of the ring with that super kick. So Jay then laid the World Heavyweight Championship down near the ropes, and he challenged Gunther. He was laying Gunther to get back into the ring. So Gunther got on the apron, but he ended up getting down, and he took the World Heavyweight Championship with him, and pretty much basically, that was basically that. But overall, I thought this was a good opening to the show here. I mean, this was just to hype up the match between these two, on Saturday at Saturday Night's Main Event, which without a doubt will be a good match. I don't see Jey Uso winning the title. Gunther's going to retain. But good opening to the show was. And then we saw the New Day, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods. They were walking backstage, and they came up to JBL, WWE Hall of Famer JBL, made an appearance. Good to see JBL there. JBL has been doing, some good stuff on the indies, from what I've seen. And Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods ended up saying that they found someone who understands them. JBL was happy to see both Kofi and Xavier. Kofi ended up saying that JBL will be the commentator for the match against the fake locker room leader in Rey Mysterio. Xavier Woods ended up saying that he wants JBL to put over how they've been wronged. So they ended up putting $2 in JBL's coat pocket. They ended up mentioning that JBL dropped a tag partner in Ron Simmons. Of course, when they were the APA, one of the best tag teams was JBL and Ron Simmons as the APA. They were so fun together, in the segments that they did where, a certain superstar back in the day, they would go into their of course, room, but they would go around the door. They had the APA door, and they were like, "Oh, were you born in the barn? Knock on the door." But really enjoyed them when they were the APA together. Such a fun tag team. So JBL ended up telling them that he doesn't blame them for dropping a charismatic, large muscle tag team partner in Big E. He kept saying, surely people will care more about them now. And we had Kofi and Xavier Woods. They weren't happy with JBL's compliment to them. So JBL was like, "Oh, do I get to keep the money?" And pretty much that was basically that. So the New Day was trying to bribe JBL here to say that, they found someone who understands them and why, they had to let Big E go. So, but JBL, didn't take their side. So then, Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back, we saw Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly was backstage with Bayley. Of course, Bayley coming over from SmackDown to Raw in the transfer window. Bayley is now a part of the Raw roster. Like I said earlier, it was confirmed earlier today. So, Kathy Kelly ended up saying that Bayley is here for a match against Nia Jax later on. And that Bayley has an announcement. Bayley, of course, made the announcement that she is officially back on Monday Night Raw and that it feels good to be here. She ended up saying this is where she started her career when she came up from NXT. Bayley ended up saying that she also wants to declare herself for the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble. She kept saying that she could go after Tiffany Stratton or Rhea Ripley if she wins the Rumble. So Nia Jax walked up to Bayley. We couldn't hear what Nia Jax was saying because there were some audio issues. I was like, oh, that's not me. That's the audio over there. So Nia Jax ended up saying that she'll take out Tiffany Stratton and win the Royal Rumble. Bayley ended up saying that she dares Nia Jax to try something on her, like she did to Rhea Ripley. So pretty much that was basically that. So Bayley is now a part of the Monday Night Raw roster, and she declared herself for the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble. And then we had the first match of the night. Rey Mysterio. He ended up taking on Kofi Kingston. Rey Mysterio, he was the first one to make his way out. And then Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods ended up coming out. So when they came out, they were not happy about the New Day theme. They were like, oh, we're not using that theme anymore. Oh, take that theme off. Take the lasers off. So Kofi ended up saying that the crowd is starting to piss them off because, of course, they got boos from the crowd there. The fans were chanting, New Day sucks. They ended up saying that they've been doing this for too long to be disrespected like this. They ended up saying that they are walking Hall of Famers, unlike this fraud, which they end up pointing to JBL. So Kofi was like to JBL, I'm taking my money back. So Kofi took the money out of JBL's coat pocket that he ended up placing the money in, moments ago, earlier. So Xavier Woods ended up saying that Rey Mysterio will get the brakes beat off him by the one and only Kofi Kingston because New Day rocks, to which the crowd ended up chanting, New Day sucks. And of course, JBL was on commentary for this match. So we heard JBL go to say to Michael Cole, hey, my goal. Yeah, my goal. But this was a good match between Rey Mysterio and Kofi Kingston here. Match got underway. Both guys circled the ring. Kofi ended up hooking a waistlock on Rey. He ended up catching Rey with a side headlock. He then shoved Rey into the corner. Once again, both guys circled the ring. Rey then ended up grabbing a waistlock for, Kofi. Kofi ended up quickly reversing that and ended up taking Rey down. He then slapped Rey in the head. Rey ended up heading to the corner, and both guys ended up locking up. Rey ended up wrenching, Kofi's arm. Kofi ended up twisting back, so Rey ended up rolling through. He kipped up. He then hooked a side headlock. Kofi then ended up whipping Rey off and shoulder tackled him. Kofi then hit the ropes, but he ended up getting caught by Rey. Rey ended up delivering a head scissors takeover to Kofi. Rey then ended up drop kicking Kofi in his knees, knocking him into the ropes. Rey ended up going for the 619, but Kofi ended up getting out of the ring. Rey ended up going to the apron, but Kofi ended up ripping Rey down to ringside. Kofi ended up getting Rey back in the ring, and he backed him into the corner. He then started punching Rey in the face, and he uppercutted him. Kofi then ended up stomping Rey in the corner. Rey then ended up reversing the whip into the opposite corner, but Kofi ended up catching Rey with a pendulum kick. Rey ended up responding with a step-up enziguri, and he also attempted to hit a sunset flip powerbomb to the floor to Kofi, but Kofi fought out of that. Kofi ended up pulling Rey down, and they ended up botching a powerbomb attempt on the floor. Yes, there were a few sloppy spots here in the match between them, but still, they put on a good match. So Rey ended up landing flat on his back on the floor. Kofi ended up stomping on Rey's midsection, and he started yelling at JBL, of course on commentary. Kofi then ended up driving Rey starting first to the ring apron. He ended up going for another powerbomb, but Rey countered that with a hurricanrana, which he ended up sending Kofi into the steel steps. which that was a nice counter there by Ray. So then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, both guys were trading punches back and forth. Kofi ended up kicking Ray and sending him into the ropes. Ray ended up ducking 2 clotheslines from Kofi, and he ended up hitting a run crossbody block. Ray ended up heading to the top rope, but Kofi ended up cutting him off. Kofi ended up climbing to the middle rope, and he hooked Ray's head. Ray then ended up knocking Kofi back, and he ended up hitting a flying senton. Kofi ended up quickly ducking a springboard crossbody block from Ray. Kofi ended up going for the sunset flip, but Ray rolled through, and he delivered a basement dropkick to Kofi, to which he ended up going for the cover, and Kofi kicked out. We had Xavier Woods end up sweeping Ray's feet because he had Ray end up ducking the Trouble in Paradise from Kofi. He hit the Hurricanrana to Kofi that put him in position for Ray to hit the 619. So Ray hit the ropes for the 619, and that's when Xavier Woods ended up sweeping Ray's feet, to which the referee ended up seeing that, and the ref ejected Woods from ringside. Ray then ended up punching Xavier Woods off the apron. Kofi then attacked Ray from behind, but Ray ended up knocking Kofi into position for the 619, to which Ray hit it, and it connected. So Ray then followed up with a splash, but Kofi got his knees up. Kofi ended up going for the cover, to which Ray ended up kicking out. Kofi ended up going for an SOS, but Ray countered that, and he sat on Kofi for the win. So there you go. Rey Mysterio ended up winning the match. Post-match, Xavier Woods ran down and attacked Ray from behind. Woods ended up getting Ray into the ring, and Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston double-teamed up on Ray. And this brought out Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro, Ray's buddies of the LWO. So they ran down to save Ray, but Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods ended up quickly getting out of the ring. Kofi then ended up pulling Joaquin Wilde out of the ring, and he drove Wilde into the ring post. Del Toro then ended up chasing Kofi and Xavier off, and pretty much that was basically that. But overall, good match from Ray and Kofi here. Like I said, a little sloppy at points, but still a good match it was. And from the end here, looks like we're going to be getting maybe Xavier Woods and Kofi versus Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. So that should be happening probably next week on Raw. My prediction. And then we saw Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly was backstage, and she was supposed to interview Chad Gable about him losing to Penta last week. But we saw Chad Gable, he was shouting at the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile in the background. Chad Gable ended up saying that he was firing up the troops. He ended up saying that he knows he was the talk of the wrestling world when he lost to Penta last week. Gable ended up saying that he knows he has a problem losing to Penta, to Dragon Lee, and also Rey Mysterio. Gable ended up saying that he has sought the advice of someone who knows Lucha Libre. And that person is Dominic Mysterio. He ended up saying that Dominic will help him with his problem. Ivy now ended up saying that there is a Women's Intercontinental Championship with her name on it. So it looks like she wants to face Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. The Creed brothers ended up saying that they're coming for the World Tag Team Championship. Julius Creed then ended up saying that they're taking the titles from a team at the end of their career and bringing them to a team hitting their prime. So the Creed brothers want to face the War Raiders for the World Tag Team Championship. But yeah, American made, they're making goals for themselves. Gable wants advice from Dominic. Ivy Nile wants the Women's Intercontinental Championship, and the Creed brothers want to become the World Tag Team Champions. That was that. And then we went to Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn was already in the ring. He got on the mic. He thanked the crowd for the reception that, he was getting. he ended up saying that he's not going to beat around the bush. He ended up saying that he spoke to Adam Pearce, and Sami Zayn ended up announcing that he has officially entered the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble. He ended up saying last week Seth Rollins told him that he spends all his time helping other people, and that maybe it's time for him to help himself. Sami Zayn ended up saying that got him thinking about what he wants. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he started to think about 14-year-old him and the millions of people worldwide who dream of ever becoming pro wrestlers, as well as the thousands who actually get to be wrestlers. He ended up saying then there's the small group that is called WWE Superstars. He ended up saying then there is the smallest group of all, the top tier of WWE, and that's where he is now. Sami ended up saying that he believes in his heart that he's as good as any in that group, and that group of guys is in the Royal Rumble. He ended up saying that the only difference between him and them, guys like Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre, is that they have a world championship to their name, and he doesn't. Sami ended up saying that he has had a great life and career, and he doesn't need the world championship to complete him. He ended up saying that the fans have supported him through the years, and their support has meant more to him than any world championship could ever mean. He ended up saying that he doesn't need the world championship, but damn it, he wants it. The 14-year-old in him wants it. He ended up saying that he's still with him and is with him every time he's in the ring, and that he wants it, so he's going to take it. So that brought out Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens ended up coming out. Of course, he has the Winged Eagle belt over his shoulder. He was wearing a nice Bret Hart jacket here. So Michael Cole on commentary made sure to mention to the fans and the viewers at home that Kevin Owens is not a champion, and that he stole the Winged Eagle belt from Cody Rhodes, which he did. So Kevin Owens stayed across the ring from Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he knew it was only a matter of time before Owens came here. So Sami Zayn was like to Owens, how do you want to do this? Owens then ended up asking Sami what he means. Sami ended up saying that the world saw what he did to Cody Rhodes when he teamed with Roman Reigns. He ended up saying, how is this going to go down? So Kevin Owens ended up saying that he'll admit that he was a bit upset when he saw Sami Zayn teaming with Roman at Survivor Series. Owens ended up saying that he then thought about it. He ended up saying that it's not like when Cody teamed with Roman. He ended up saying that Sami Zayn has had a lot of history with Reigns, just like they do. Which, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, their feud every time, it was just absolutely good. Their matches were absolutely awesome when they went at it. So, Owens ended up saying that Reigns did some terrible things to Sami that he chose to overlook. Owens ended up saying that he has done some terrible things to Sami that he has overlooked. He ended up saying Sami forgave him, just like he forgave Roman. He ended up saying that's who Sami is, and that he is a good person. Kevin Owens ended up saying that he is here as Sami's friend to say he believes wholeheartedly that Sami will win the Royal Rumble, and that Sami deserves to win the Royal Rumble and go to WrestleMania and fight for the championship. So we had Kevin Owens end up saying that they main evented WrestleMania together and won the tag team titles. Now they need to main event WrestleMania for the championship. He ended up saying that when Sami wins the Royal Rumble, they will get to do that. He ended up saying that it will happen as long as he walks out of the Royal Rumble as the WWE champion. Kevin Owens ended up saying that he knows both of those things will happen. He ended up saying that he knows Sami Zayn will win the Royal Rumble because he's got Sami's back. So Kevin Owens ended up saying that he knows he'll walk out of the Royal Rumble as champion, just like Sami Zayn had Roman's back. And he ended up saying that Sami has his back. Owens was like to Sami as your best friend and brother. If he needs him, he'll know he'll be there. So pretty much that was basically that. But we all know where this is going to go. Sami Zayn's in the Royal Rumble. Kevin Owens will be in the Royal Rumble. You're going to have Kevin Owens eliminate Sami Zayn from the Rumble. We're going to get the feud again with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Do we need another feud between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn? We've seen it all with them. From their feud, back in the day. What more can they do with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, to continue a feud from a few years back? It's going to be the same thing. But obviously, I know if that happens, it's going to be a good match either way. But we've seen Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn go at it before. It's the same old. It's going to be nothing new. Just the same, matchup that we saw from them, a few years ago. And of course, we're going to get the contract signing this Saturday at Saturday Night's Main Event. Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. Contract signing for the Royal Rumble. It's going to be moderated by the Heartbreak Kid, the Showstopper, Shawn Michaels. And I say, the match will happen. And then Kevin Owens will be in the Rumble. And then he'll probably eliminate Sami Zayn. And then we'll get that feud once again. But that's my prediction. And then we saw Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly was backstage with Sheamus. Sheamus ended up saying that he will challenge Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship this Saturday at Saturday Night's Main Event. Sheamus ended up saying that he's been living his career backward. He ended up saying 6 months after debuting, he defeated one of the greatest of all time, John Cena, for the world title. So Sheamus ended up saying that he's going to fulfill his destiny by winning the last title that he hasn't won on Saturday. Sheamus ended up saying, "Let's go Irish." And then Braun Breaker walked up to Sheamus. He ended up holding up the Intercontinental Championship. Breaker ended up saying to Sheamus that this is as close as you'll get to the title. He ended up telling Sheamus on Saturday he'll break him like an old man. So Breaker then warned Sheamus to retire. So Sheamus shoved Breaker away, and just Breaker started laughing at Sheamus. Pretty much that was that, but obviously it's going to be a very good match between Sheamus and Braun Breaker here this Saturday. And then we had Nia Jax. She had taken on Bayley. Bayley's first match, back on Raw. And this was not a bad match. And Bayley ended up taking Nia Jax to having a good match here. Roxanne Perez was shown at ringside. And the match got underway. Bayley sidestepped Nia Jax as Nia Jax ended up charging at Bayley. Bayley attacked Nia in the corner. She ended up doing the 10 punches to Nia, to which Nia countered with a powerbomb attempt. But Bayley ended up trying to counter with a Hurricanrana. Nia Jax powered Bayley up. Bayley countered with a DDT, which looked very sloppy onto Nia Jax, to which she went for the cover, and Nia Jax ended up kicking out. Bayley then ended up punching Nia Jax, and she ended up hitting the ropes. Nia Jax popped Bayley up and headbutted Bayley in the chest. She ended up going for the cover, to which Bayley kicked out. We had Nia Jax end up shoving Bayley down and started choking Bayley with her boot in the corner. Nia Jax ended up going for an elbow drop, but Bayley moved out of the way. Bayley then ended up punching away at Nia Jax, and she ended up hitting a back suplex to Nia Jax, to which she ended up going for the cover, to which Nia Jax ended up kicking out. Nia Jax ended up fighting back to Bayley. She ended up delivering the Uranagi to her. Nia Jax headed to the second rope to deliver the Annihilator, but Bayley ended up attacking Nia and knocked her over the top rope to the floor. Bayley then ended up laying Nia Jax out with a suicide dive, and she then got in Roxanne Perez's face. Roxanne Perez ended up going for a slap to Bayley, but Bayley blocked it, and she punched Roxanne Perez down. Security then ended up holding Roxanne Perez back from jumping over the barricade, and Bayley started laughing at her, so Roxanne Perez was ejected from ringside. So then, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Nia Jax ended up hitting a leg drop on Bayley's arm, and Bayley ended up kicking out. So we had Nia Jax end up going for another leg drop, but Bayley moved out of the way. Bayley then ended up attacking Nia Jax on the ground, and she dropped an elbow onto Nia Jax, to which she ended up going for the cover, to which Nia Jax kicked out. Bayley then ended up hitting Nia Jax with a knee that sent Nia Jax to the apron. Bayley tried to pull Nia Jax up for a DT, but Nia Jax ended up grabbing Bayley's arm and snapped it off the middle rope. Nia Jax ended up standing on the arm on the ring apron. She ended up going for a leg drop, but Bayley moved out of the way, to which Nia Jax ended up going, ass first on the ring apron. Her my hole. So then Nia Jax slowly got up on the apron. Bayley ended up hitting the sunset flip powerbomb, or sunset flip bomb, into the ring post to Nia Jax. Nia Jax then fell to ringside. So the ref was counting. Ref got to 8. Nia Jax slowly got up and got into the ring. Bayley then ended up quickly hitting Nia Jax with the Annihilator, Nia Jax's move, on her. So Bayley ended up going for the cover, to which Nia Jax kicked out. Bayley quickly went back to the second rope and dropped an elbow onto Nia Jax, went for the cover. Nia Jax kicked out. So at the end of the match, we had Bayley end up picking up a near fall on Nia Jax. Bayley ended up going for the Bayley to belly, but Nia Jax ended up attacking Bayley's arm. We had Nia Jax hit a pop-up Samoan drop, which was followed by a senton splash on Bayley. Nia Jax then quickly pulled Bayley into the corner. She went up and delivered the Annihilator on Bayley. So there you go. Nia Jax ended up winning the match, and Bayley, back on Raw, takes an L. She comes back to Raw, and in her first match back on Raw, loses. So this brought out Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley came out to the stage, and she was holding her head in pain. Rhea Ripley then charged down to the ring, and she brawled with Nia Jax. Rhea Ripley ended up driving Nia Jax to the corner and ended up hitting Nia with some shoulder thrusts. And of course, in 1 second, we had officials end up running down and they ended up pulling Rhea Ripley away. Officials ended up pulling Nia Jax back as well. Nia Jax broke free, and she avalanched Rhea Ripley and some of the officials in the corner. Nia Jax was pulled away by more officials, but Rhea Ripley ended up breaking through, ended up attacking Nia Jax. Rhea Ripley ended up kicking Nia Jax in the head, and Nia Jax then left the ring. Rhea Ripley went out of the ring to follow Nia, but Nia ended up sweeping Rhea's feet. Nia then ended up slamming Rhea's face off the commentary table a couple of times. Nia Jax then ended up putting Rhea on the table, but she ended up pulling away. Rhea Ripley then ended up hitting a cannonball off the commentary table onto Nia Jax and the officials. So she took out Nia Jax and the officials. So Rhea then grabbed the mic. She stood on the commentary table. Rhea then shouted, "You, me, Saturday night's main event." So there you go. Match is confirmed. Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax this Saturday at Saturday night's main event. But overall, not a bad match between Bayley and Nia Jax. I mean, Bayley brought Nia Jax to, a pretty, decent match here. And then we saw Chad Gable. Chad Gable was in the Judgment Day Clubhouse, and he was asking Dominic Mysterio for some help. Finn Balor, of course, was not there. Dominic ended up handing Chad Gable a piece of paper. And Chad Gable ended up saying that he will learn some Lucha Libre dark arts. So Dominic ended up saying that it's not bad for Chad Gable to owe them one. Liv Morgan then ended up joking that Balor hasn't been winning a lot lately. JD McDonough ended up mentioning that the World Tag Team titles, he ended up saying that Balor is laid up. Dominic ended up saying to McDonough that he could take Balor's place, and Balor wouldn't mind that. To which JD McDonough ended up agreeing. And all while this was happening, Carlito was in the background. He was like looking for a clean apple because he ended up picking up an apple, looking at it to see if it was good. He took a green apple and he put it down. Took a red apple, started looking at it to see if it was good, put it down, picked up the green apple again, started looking at it. That's all Carlito was doing in this segment here. While we had Dominic and McDonough and Liv Morgan talking. So Liv Morgan ended up saying that Dominic is acting like a leader and hopes it turns out better than he did for a match with Rhea Ripley. Dominic ended up saying to Liv Morgan that he thought she wasn't mad and that he will make it up to Liv. So Liv ended up saying that Dominic will. And she ended up dragging Dominic away. Carlito's eyes end up going buggy as he ended up holding on to Raquel Rodriguez, and Raquel was like, it was hilarious. And then we had a video promo from Lyra Valkyria, the new Women's Intercontinental Champion, to which she won it last week, where she defeated Dakota Kai. Lyra ended up saying that she will defend the Women's Intercontinental Championship against anyone. So let's hope that happens. Is our first opponent going to be Ivy Nile? Because Ivy Nile ended up saying earlier in the night that, she wants the Women's Intercontinental Championship. She ended up saying that, there's a Women's Intercontinental Championship with her name on it. So is she going to be Lyra's first opponent? Maybe. And then we saw Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn ended up walking up to Seth Rollins. Sami Zayn ended up thanking Rollins for last week's talk. He ended up saying that it got through to him. Rollins ended up saying that it's about time for that Sami Zayn to show up. Rollins ended up saying that he is almost rooting for that Sami Zayn. But if push comes to shove, he'll throw him over the top rope in the Royal Rumble. To which Sami Zayn retaliated back to Rollins and said, "Not if I throw you out first." There you go. That was basically that. And then we had Pete Dunne versus Penta. Penta's second match, on WWE TV since he made his debut last week. And the reaction that Penta got tonight wasn't as good as last week's, in my opinion. He got a low pop tonight there in Dallas. But it was still cool to see Penta there. I mean, his entrance is still good after last week. But this was a good match here. So Penta did his taunt after the bell rang. The Cero Miedo. So Pete Dunne ended up grabbing Penta's arm. Penta ended up kicking Dunne away. Both guys were exchanging strikes. Pete Dunne then applied a side headlock on Penta. Penta ended up whipping Pete Dunne off. He ended up leapfrogging Pete Dunne, and he ended up kicking Pete Dunne in his leg. Pete Dunne quickly popped up, and he floored Penta with a forearm to his skull. Pete Dunne then took Penta down, and he ended up snapping Penta's fingers, and he stomped on his elbow, to which Penta was shown screaming in pain. So Penta ended up reversing the whip into the corner, as Pete Dunne was wrenching Penta's arm, and Penta ended up hitting a running kick to Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne reversed the whip into the opposite corner, and he ended up hitting a step-up enziguri to Penta. So Penta ended up reversing the whip into the opposite corner. Pete Dunne scaled the ropes for a backflip, but Penta ended up kicking Pete Dunne out of midair, which was great. Pete Dunne rolled out of the ring to recover, as Penta ended up going for a tope suicida, Pete Dunne ended up forearming Penta in the face. Pete Dunne then ended up hitting Penta with a release suplex on the ring apron, which that had to hurt because, of course, the ring apron is the hardest part of the ring. So, and then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Pete Dunne was in control of the match. He ended up decking Penta with a running forearm to Penta's jaw. Pete Dunne ended up hitting a second running forearm, and Penta ended up ducking a third running forearm. He ended up kicking Pete Dunne in his midsection. Penta ended up taking Pete Dunne down with a sling blade bulldog, which was followed up by a snap corner drop kick. Penta then ended up lifting Pete Dunne up, and he hit the Death Valley driver onto Pete Dunne. He ended up going for the cover, and Pete Dunne kicked out. We had Penta end up kicking Pete Dunne back, and he hit a Mexican Destroyer on Pete Dunne. You know, great Mexican Destroyer to Pete Dunne there. Penta does a good job hitting those Mexican Destroyers. So Pete Dunne rolled out of the ring, and it looked like he was unconscious a little bit. He appeared to be a little unconscious. So Penta ended up shaking his arm. He hit the ropes for a Tope Con Hilo, to which Penta ended up getting Pete Dunne in the ring. He ended up charging for another Mexican Destroyer, but Pete Dunne countered that into a package pile driver, to which Pete Dunne ended up going for the cover, and Penta ended up kicking out. We had Penta end up trying to go for the sacrifice, but we had Pete Dunne end up grabbing Penta's arm for a triangle choke. Penta powered him up with one arm, and he ended up hitting a powerbomb backbreaker to Pete Dunne. So Penta ended up doing the sacrifice. He ended up snapping Pete Dunne's arm. Penta then ended up crushing Pete Dunne with a Penta driver. He ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Penta ended up winning the match, getting his second win on WWE television. But overall, good match it was from Penta and Pete Dunne here. And then we had a video promo from Logan Paul. Logan Paul ended up saying that it must suck to be a hater of his. Not really. He ended up saying people have wanted him to fail for years, but it never will. He ended up saying that when he does something, he becomes the best at it. Logan Paul ended up saying that he is the internet king and the only man in history to beat Floyd Mayweather. He ended up saying WWE will be no different. He said, "Look around, dummies. This is my life now." He will eat, sleep, and breed wrestling until he becomes the greatest. He ended up saying, "You're looking at the greatest of all time. Please." Now, of course, Logan Paul will make his debut next Monday on Raw. Great. And of course, they end up announcing that we're going to see the War Raiders. They're going to put the World Tag Team Championship on the line against Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough. And Cody Rhodes will also be on the show because next week's Raw is going to be Atlanta, which is, Cody's hometown. So, Monday Night Raw is going to be in Atlanta next week. And then we had CM Punk. CM Punk was shown in the arena's concourse. He was shown high-fiving fans. He headed into the arena. Jackie Redmond was there with Punk, and there was a platform for Punk to stand on as Jackie Redmond ended up interviewing him. So the crowd was chanting for Punk. Punk ended up asking Jackie Redmond if it's great to be alive on a Monday night in Dallas. Jackie Redmond ended up saying that there are only so many ways to get to the main event of WrestleMania. She ended up saying that the Royal Rumble is one of those ways. And that's a match he's never won. And the field is stacking up with Roman Reigns, John Cena, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and Sami Zayn. So Jackie Redmond ended up asking to Punk, what makes this Royal Rumble different for you? Punk ended up saying to Jackie Redmond that history, and I am the maker of history. He ended up saying 3 weeks ago, he main evented the first Monday Night Raw on Netflix, being one of the Royal Rumble favorites in Seth Rollins. Punk ended up saying that he will head into the Royal Rumble and throw 29 other superstars over the top rope. He ended up saying that the pressure is on. And that's when he comes alive and thrives. Punk ended up saying that nobody can beat him when he is at his best with the people behind him. Punk ended up saying that he can't see John Cena throwing him over the top rope on February 1st. He ended up saying that Roman Reigns needed Punk's help to settle family business, and that there are no friends in the Royal Rumble. Punk ended up saying that he put Drew McIntyre in the dirt, and that Sami Zayn isn't on his level. Punk was like, you could put Hulk Hogan in the Royal Rumble, and he'll throw his dusty ass over the top rope and kill Hulkamania, to which that led the crowd to pop loudly for that. We all know how much Hulk Hogan got booed on first Raw on Netflix. So Punk ended up saying that he is settling scores and cashing in debts. He ended up saying that he'll call in a favor or two if he needs to. Punk ended up saying that in the end, 29 men are going night-night, and only one man is getting his hand raised, and that is himself. So pretty much that was basically that. But very good promo from Punk here. Punk, here, he's ready to go into the Royal Rumble. He's ready to possibly win the Rumble and throw 29 superstars over the top rope. And he's going to thrive. So, very good promo. He took some good shots here. And then we had Pure Fusion Collective, Pure Shit Collective, Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. They have taken on Damage Control, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. Did I give a shit about this match? No. Did not even care for it. This match was awful. We had Damage Control end up winning the match. We had Shayna Baszler end up going for a cure for the clutch on Io, but Io ended up snapping Shayna Baszler off the ropes. Io Sky ended up hitting her over the moonsault onto Shayna Baszler, and she ended up winning the match for her and Dakota Kai. Did I care? No. And Shayna Baszler deserves so much better. Ever since Shayna Baszler came up to the main roster, I feel like they have done nothing for her, in my opinion. Shayna Baszler deserves better. Look at her run when she was in NXT. That was absolutely great. This is a whole different Shayna Baszler that we've seen on the main roster than what we saw in NXT. Shayna Baszler deserves better. Main event. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. This was their rematch from last year's WrestleMania, which, seeing their match at WrestleMania last year for the World Heavyweight Championship, being there live at WrestleMania there in Philly, and seeing them go at it was just absolutely great. The crowd was, really into the match, and it was a great way for Drew McIntyre to beat Seth Rollins and get his WrestleMania moment, and him winning the World Heavyweight Championship from Seth Rollins. But this was a good match here. So Rollins started taunting McIntyre, ended up saying that he has two good knees on him, unlike at WrestleMania. So McIntyre then started circling the ring. Both guys locked up. McIntyre powered Rollins to the corner. Rollins shoved McIntyre. McIntyre then shoved Rollins harder. Rollins then got in McIntyre's face. McIntyre ended up delivering a chop to Rollins. Rollins and McIntyre, they have very good chemistry when they're in the ring. We saw it at WrestleMania. It showed there, and it showed here, tonight. So Rollins ended up cackling at McIntyre, and he ended up chopping McIntyre. So both guys were exchanging some chops. McIntyre then hooked the side headlock on Rollins. Rollins then whipped McIntyre off. McIntyre responded with a shoulder tackle to Rollins. Rollins got up and chopped McIntyre's chest. Rollins then ended up whipping McIntyre, dropped down, and he leapt frog McIntyre, and he ended up going over to the ropes for a diving battering ram, but McIntyre didn't go down. It did nothing to McIntyre. McIntyre then bounced off the ropes and hit another shoulder tackle to Rollins. So McIntyre ended up attacking Rollins' back. He sent him into the ropes, but Rollins caught McIntyre with a sling blade. Rollins quickly followed up with a clothesline over the top rope to McIntyre. Rollins then hit the baseball slide and connected with a suicide dive to McIntyre. Rollins got back to the ring. He went for a second suicide dive, but he got caught by McIntyre. McIntyre then ended up hitting an overhead belly suplex to Rollins over the commentary table, which that was crazy. So, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, McIntyre was shown standing over Rollins. McIntyre ended up saying that they used to play for the same team, and because Rollins is so selfish. Rollins started fighting back with some right hands. McIntyre ended up quickly kicking Rollins in his midsection and sent him into the corner. Rollins then booted McIntyre back, but McIntyre ended up decking Rollins with a run elbow. McIntyre ended up going for an inverted Alabama slam, but Rollins countered with a victory roll, to which McIntyre kicked out. McIntyre popped up, and he fiercely charged at Rollins, but Rollins booted McIntyre down. So both guys were down here at this point. Rollins got fired up, and he sized McIntyre up. Rollins then started punching McIntyre a few times, and he chopped away at his chest. The ref then pulled Rollins back. McIntyre then reversed the whip, and he picked Rollins up for a vertical suplex, but Rollins got out of that. Rollins then ended up sending McIntyre's shoulder first to the ring post twice. Rollins ended up doing it a third time, and he ended up going to ringside to sling McIntyre's arm into the ring post. Rollins then ended up hitting a springboard knee to McIntyre's head, which was followed by a running knee to his face. So he ended up going for the cover, and McIntyre kicked out. So we had McIntyre end up going to the top rope later on. Rollins scaled the ropes, and he ended up hitting a superplex to McIntyre, to which Rollins ended up rolling through. McIntyre countered that with a Falcon Arrow, to which Rollins kicked out. We had McIntyre end up charging for a Claymore, but Rollins ducked it. Rollins ended up charging for a Stomp, but McIntyre countered with a Spinebuster, which was followed up by a Jackknife Pin. So McIntyre ended up going for the cover, and Rollins kicked out. McIntyre ended up going for a powerbomb. Rollins countered that with a Hurricanrana. He then super kicked McIntyre and hit a tilt-a-whirl into a Falcon Arrow, which was pretty cool. So Rollins ended up going for the cover, and McIntyre kicked out. So at the end of the match, we had McIntyre end up going for a short-arm clothesline, but Rollins ended up twisting through, and ended up catching McIntyre with a jackknife pin. So there you go. Seth Rollins ended up winning the match. Post-match, McIntyre fiercely attacked Rollins and started punching away at him. Rollins tried to fight back as McIntyre ended up running the ref off. But McIntyre ended up crushing Rollins with a Claymore kick. McIntyre then ended up dragging Rollins by his hair and pressed Rollins' skull against the ring post. McIntyre then backed up, but we had Sami Zayn end up running to ringside to attack McIntyre. Sami Zayn ended up driving McIntyre into the ring post as he checked on Rollins. Sami ended up going back to McIntyre, but McIntyre ended up catching Sami with a Glasgow kiss, and he ended up slinging Sami Zayn into the barricade. McIntyre then turned his attention back to Rollins, who was slowly getting up in the ring. McIntyre then grabbed Rollins. He ended up saying to Rollins that they should be fighting on the same team. So Sami Zayn got into the ring. Sami Zayn was attempting to hit McIntyre with the Hoover kick, but McIntyre ended up moving out of the way, and Sami Zayn accidentally hitted Rollins with the Hoover kick. So Sami Zayn was not happy about that. So Drew McIntyre got out of the ring. You know, he was laughing about that. So Rollins looked all furious at Sami Zayn as Monday Night Raw went off the air. But overall, very good match between Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre here. Their rematch from WrestleMania last year. Just McIntyre and Rollins whenever they're in the ring, they have very good chemistry together. And this is not going to bode well for Sami Zayn, with him accidentally kicking, Seth Rollins with that haluva kick. But overall, Monday Night Raw, okay show it was tonight. But anyway, that's it for my review of tonight's Monday Night Raw. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Like I said, be sure to check me out tomorrow on my buddy Luke Ponto's channel as we do episode 5 of the Movie Fanatics at 8 o'clock Eastern. So come over to my buddy Luke Ponto's channel for that. And join me here on my channel on Wednesday for episode 2 of the Bell Call podcast with me and Noah. So that'll be at 7 o'clock Eastern. So check me out for those. And until then, I'll see you all later.